Velvet Daggers, episode 4. This one is titled Internal Bleeding. It's an octopus minus one, and that one is you. Good morning, and let's go to work. Let's talk about this octopus for a minute. You know, an octopus has 8 tentacles, or what some would consider to be 8 arms, or 8 legs, or 8 extensions. But in this case, I'm going to use the phrase of having them to be 8 attachments. They're all strong enough to hold on to anything or anybody. And the suction cups of those 8 arms or 8 tentacles or 8 attachments are so strong, it can be difficult to let go. The correlation that I'm trying to make between the octopus and the human is that we too use tentacles. We just don't know it. But we use 7 tentacles by attaching them to others while removing ourselves. These are the 7 deadly sins to man. And man is no different. It's just difficult for them to see it. That's why it's an octopus minus one. And that one is you. Ouch. Guilty. But I know one thing. The comment section will remain silent. If you understand this and you understand that you don't want any of these issues to continue to plague you, drop a ouch and a comment. This is not an admission to guilt. This is just a self-reflection in the mirror that most mankind has become too afraid to admit. But if, and only if, we would squeeze the hell out of ourselves 7 times harder, we'd be able to release these 7 deadly sins from within us. Let that sink in. It's an octopus. Oh, it's an octopus. But the real battle, one, is not yours. 2, the real battle will forever be an internal battle. We've just grown accustomed to looking at external things, blaming the externals for what the internal lacks. Internal bleeding. The first tentacle of man is jealousy. Jealousy is something that we act out, and sometimes uncontrollably. Oftentimes, everybody else around you can see it, but you. Unless you're surrounded and or in a gene pool of those of whom are all jealous and carry that one tentacle, the conversations will all remain the same. But if there's an ounce of difference around you, they will see it. They may not tell you. It's a horrible place to be. That second tentacle is anger. It too acts out. It's a force, and it must exit. It came in, and now it must go out. And a lot of times, it doesn't care who it hurts. It must exit. The third tentacle is greed. You know, it's subtle, it's hidden. Maybe that's what people think. But yet it's wide open and very noticeable. That fourth one, that fourth tentacle is lust. To me, this is the hardest one and yet the most dangerous one, in my opinion, because it's very quiet. Very quiet. The fifth tentacle is pride. Pride becomes our silent destroyer. It quietly destroys us from the inside out, oftentimes because we can't articulate or speak what it is that we truly desire and how to get it. So the pride in us won't allow us to ask for help. And time keep on slipping into the future. And you can't keep up with the time. And when that time passes you by, it causes more anger. Pride is so strong, it won't even allow you to cry. And cry to where you can hear yourself. Anyway, the sixth tentacle is gluttony. Oh boy. We are full of everything that's blocking us from our purpose. Like that spin on that one? It's not always people walking in obesity. We got some skinny people that's full of BS. Empty yourself. The sixth one. Nope. The seventh one. Slowfulness. We have now become very, very, very slow to hear. Slow to see. Yet we become fast to execute jealousy, anger, greed, lust, pride, and gluttony flawlessly, causing internal bleeding. See, it's an octopus minus one, and that one is you. Take all seven. Squeeze the hell out of you. Watch what comes out of you. Heal your wounds. Put on that tailor-made armor. And the bleeding stops. Velvet daggers. Delicate cuts. Internal bleeding. Tailored armor. It still gets much deeper. The reason why surface talked the 7 deadly sins. I'll cover them deeper on Patreon. I've been working on something for a few years, and gotta hold on to your nuggets sometimes. But you can still let a few of them go. Velvet Daggers, coming to a theater near you.